Welcome to I Drink Your Podcast.
Oh gosh, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You leave me no choice. Here comes the smolder.
Wait, you like that?
No,
you don't like that?
No, I don't like that.
No, how about that? You like that?
A little better.
Bread makes you fat?
Does this count as annoying?
Just tell me what you want me to fuck!
Not you, and not you.
Okay, I think it's time to take off your clothes and jump me.
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool?
I drink your podcast! I drink it up!
Welcome, everyone, to I Drink Your Podcast. My name is Emily, and we are the show that talks about movies from 2010, I guess.
The show that knows
About a lot
movies
of
from
things.
2010 only.
Motherfucking camera.
I have Ben with me,
Hey, everybody.
and Wesley is visiting.
Kind of.
Yeah, your camera's not working, so can't see you, bitch. And Dylan.
Hey, everybody.
We're really happy to have all of us here on an early Saturday morning after we watched this movie together last night.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, we have to know what is in our glass this Saturday morning. Dylan.
Well, I'm trying something new. I'm not huge on pumpkin ales or pumpkin anything, given that spooky season has begun. Everything is pumpkin spice. But I'm trying the Gourd Tree pumpkin cider. So it's actually pretty good. It's not bad. It's an apple based cider, but it's got the usual pumpkin-y type flavor to it as well. But I like the bite of the apple at the end.
You know, you're the only man I've ever met who hates pumpkin but loves a blumpkin.
Fuck off.
That can't be true. I feel like
don't know that joke.
Don't look it up.
Okay, Wesley, what about you?
Well, you see.
No, we don't. You have no camera.
Just like this movie, I'm going to be sneakily innocent. So I'm just having some apple juice.
Oh,
Because it's fall. It's October 1st. And I don't like pumpkins.
but you love blumpkins.
Ben.
I went with the drink that they're drinking in this movie, which is PBR. I got it in a glass because I'm a cultured hillbilly.
Hill William.
Well, I promised I wouldn't make that joke today, Wesley, but I'm
That's
glad
why
you
I
did.
did.
Yeah.
Ben, did you really go to the store and buy PBR for this movie?
One single can of PBR.
Wow.
The guy at
You
Total
can do
Wine
that?
gave me a funny look.
Do that?
Yeah, because they have the mix and match, and I bought one single can of PBR.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
I was
God.
imagining you went into the store and just ripped open one box and was like, I'll just be taking one, please.
Wow.
Emily, what do you got?
Well, I'm glad that Ben is on theme. I'm also pretty on theme. I know fall is in the air, so I'm proud of you both, Dylan and Wesley. But I went with some chamomile tea, the foil of our villain.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
I know, right? Mm-hmm.
That
I'm
sounds
very
way
proud of
better
myself.
than apple juice.
Spoilers.
I do like apple juice, though. Apple juice is pretty damn good.
Does anyone here have asthma? Does chamomile tea actually affect the asthma?
Oh my God, who knows?
Well, someone with asthma probably would. That's why I asked.
I feel like that's completely made up shit, but I don't know.
Fact checking. Probably should have done this before the show.
Yeah, Ben. Or are you looking it up right now?
I got it.
I have a new segment that we're going to roll out today.
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
It's what the fuck is wrong with you? Why aren't you watching this? So, are any of you guys watching The Bear?
No, but
Not yet.
What the fuck is wrong
really
with you?
want to.
Why aren't you watching this? What, Dylan?
No.
Dylan, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why aren't you watching this? Wesley?
He already said no.
No, I'm going to say yeah. I changed my answer.
Wait, have you or have you not?
Well,
What the fuck is wrong with you?
so you know
Why aren't
how
you
like
watching this?
if you start a movie, like say say you're watching Thor and you only get like a little bit in, but like you would still say you're watching that, right?
Oh, yeah. So you've watched a couple episodes?
Whoa.
You watched a minute or two of an episode? What have you seen?
I've seen those commercials for sure.
Oh, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I was going to say, I have seen a commercial.
You all should watch The Bear. It is extremely well done. Jeremy Allen Green is incredible in the show.
Is that Lip?
Yes, it's Lip from Shameless. It's got this really tension-filled pace to it. And there's an episode where it's basically just 17 minutes of single shot. And it's some of the best TV I've ever seen filmmaking, because it's moving around this kitchen as they try to manage a major, I guess, disaster, you could call it. But
Cool.
Definitely check out The Bear. If you haven't seen it, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Rawr.
Why aren't you watching this? Rawr.
Beyond the Bear, last night we watched Tucker and Dale versus Evil. So also, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why aren't you watching this?
Yeah.
Emily tipping her hat already.
Prior to last night, we couldn't fucking see this movie anywhere, but suddenly it's October 1st and it is literally on everything. It's on Tubi, it's on Plex, it's on Vudu, it's on Hoopla. Like all the weird shit. But, you know, you can watch it now.
Beyond the Bear would be a good title for like the Talking Dead show for the bear.
No, I think it would be Rawr Bear.
Rawr Bear.
What am I doing here?
Fell into the water. Dove in and rescued you. We'll go find your friends. You should relax. Tucker and Dale are on the case.
What is this place?
It's just a cabin. It doesn't mean they're psycho killers.
Then why don't you go in there and talk to them?
All right, maybe I will. I said maybe.
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is currently at 85% on Rotten Tomatoes and was nominated for 4 Fangoria Awards, winning 2. Dylan, what's Fangoria?
Fangoria is a magazine that's been in the long tradition of horror-based magazines. There's Rue Morgue, Horror Hound, Fangoria, but Fangoria's kind of always been seen as the best one in the last few decades.
And it gave us Fangorious Bastards.
Fuck off.
This movie was written and directed by Eli Craig. Eli had a bit part in the movie Space Cowboys, but outside of a short called The Tao of Pong, he had never written or directed before.
Which is just insane to me.
Wow.
Like, I get it, but I was like, what? Really?
And you can see some of the inexperience on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that.
I did not.
Oh, well, I'll explain it to you then.
Good.
Starring in this movie is Tyler Labine.
Yeah.
He started as a TV child actor, popping up in Are You Afraid of the Dark and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV show in the 90s, before landing TV roles on Invasion and Reaper in the 2000s, along with a small part in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Fucking huck it, chuck it, football.
Also starring in this movie is Alan Tudyk, who is a brilliant voice and comedic actor. He had been in movies prior to this of A Knight's Tale, I, Robot, Dodgeball, where he played Steve the Pirate, 2007 movie 3:10 to Yuma, and the TV show Firefly. Last person we'll call out is Katrina Bowden, who played the character of Siri on 30 Rock and was also in the movie Sex Drive as Miss Tasty.
Oh, God.
I didn't have to say that. I just like saying Miss Tasty.
Yeah, I did not like that.
Okay.
You know what I did like, though? Coming up with this plot synopsis.
Oh, let's hear it.
I had never seen this movie. I knew that my sisters liked it. I knew that it had some sort of horror elements to it. And I knew that there was some sort of comedy and that my sisters said I would love it. So here we go. The Tuck brothers start a burlesque stripping club in the 1900s, similar to Chippendales, called Tucker and Dale. As time passes, the club becomes more and more popular with the ladies until their vengeful husbands burn the place down, killing almost everyone inside. But it's ruled accidental. 100 years later, Tucker and Dale is reborn and is more popular than ever until a group of jealous men notice that the two Tuck descendants look an awful lot like the original two brothers. 'Cause newspapers and shit. And therefore, they must be vampires and have to be killed. The innocent and immortal brothers just want to dance sexy for their beloved community, but now have to use their dancing and stripping skills to save their business from a murderous mob.
I want to see that movie.
Do you really? You want Tuck Everlasting and Chippendales?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a little bit of From Dusk Till Dawn in there too. Is kind of the vibe I got.
I don't know what that is.
Well, I know you didn't, so you came up with that movie on your own.
I mean, you do know what it is. You just didn't know that that's what it was. Also, excellent recovery on the newspaper. They look the same as their distant relatives, from newspapers.
And shit.
I feel like Tuckendales, though, should be a drag show strip club.
Well, I was toying with that idea. I really was. But
kinky.
I figured, that can be the second one.
Okay. That movie that Emily just described is exactly what this movie's about. We don't need to do the DVD cover synopsis. So we'll move on.
It's just in the episode.
Dylan, give us what the movie's actually about.
All right. Tucker and Dale are two best friends on vacation at their dilapidated mountain house, who are mistaken for murderous backwoods hillbillies by a group of obnoxious preppy college kids. One of the students gets separated from her friends. The boys try to lend a hand, but as the misunderstanding grows, so does the body count.
I don't like that this plot synopsis gives away the misunderstanding, because I feel like that was one of my favorite parts of the movie is the reveal of the misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The misunderstanding is like the running thread of the movie.
Right, but not necessarily the reveal, but the way it grows, the misunderstanding like compounds on itself. Like the initial misunderstanding is just really simple, like it's all based on looks, but the misunderstanding continues to grow as actions are taken.
Yeah, the escalation of it is fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He just ran and jumped right into the wood chipper.
I don't like that it paints Tucker and Dale as good guys right away either, because I think that is a little bit part of the mystery at the beginning too. I know going along with it as the college kids, like you can see how it could be interpreted as evil, and you don't know for sure that they're not evil until maybe 15 minutes in. So I don't like that it gives that away, but I also don't know how you write a synopsis that isn't that.
I don't think you need to pretend that they're evil because it's using the entire history of horror movies to already make you assume that beforehand.
Are you talking about the synopsis itself and how it's written, or are you talking about the actual movie that you're kind of disappointed that 15 minutes in?
No, I'm talking about the synopsis.
That's what I thought. I thought both of you were talking different things.
Oh, okay.
We were.
But I think we can all agree that the synopsis that it gives the fact that they're good guys away is kind of a disappointing element of the synopsis.
Wesley, I like what you were saying about the kind of the history of the horror movies with these types of characters in them, that you come in with preconceived notions just like the college kids did.
And even if you haven't seen a shit ton of horror movies, you probably can recognize some of the themes pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard about this movie, how it kind of sold me was the line, I think it was the director, writer, who was on another podcast and he was describing it, and he said, what if everything that happened in the Jason Voorhees movies or Texas Chainsaw Massacre were just complete misunderstandings? And I was kind of like, okay, I'll watch this. That sounds funny. That's all really the synopsis should be.
Well, and I do think the conceit of this movie is one of its hallmarks. Like, I feel like the idea in and of itself is just such a great idea for the movie. Now, do I think that it was able to carry a 90-minute runtime? I don't know about that. Like, I probably could have settled for a 45-minute to 50-minute short and been just fine, because I felt like the second third to the beginning of the last third dragged a little bit after the initial shock of all these kids dying.
It needed more kids and more creative.
It needed more death.
No, yeah, it did. It needed more death scenes, more creativity, creative death
so
scenes.
then that perfectly leads into a question later, so you can start thinking about that. But this movie, I noticed, has some homages to horror that I was recognizing, even though I haven't seen a lot of horror movies. I mean, I know Fargo isn't a horror movie exactly, but the wood chipper scene is definitely like a very famous scene from that, I'm assuming, right? And then like the chainsaw, there's a movie called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think, right? So that seemed
what? Really? I've
important.
never heard of that.
Very
and also,
funny.
I was going to say, Emily, at the very end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the lead bad guy, Leatherface, does do kind of like an odd interpretive dance type thing with the chainsaw in his hands, kind of like what was going on in the movie itself.
What Tucker was doing.
Then there's also the Blair Witch Project, which again I've never seen, but I know enough about, and that's the whole beginning of the movie. Which, weirdly enough, I think that's the director and his wife. So that's hilarious to me.
Okay.
But I want to hear, were there other homages that you caught in the movie?
Well, obviously the cabin is meant to look like the Evil Dead cabin.
Yeah.
You know, and that's almost this movie, Cabin in the Woods, any horror movie that takes place like in a cabin, they all kind of try to emulate that look.
Where does this one rank among the other horror comedies that do this? Like, you think of Shaun of the Dead, you've got Cabin in the Woods, like
Cabin in the Woods is a comedy?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You haven't seen Cabin in the Woods?
Is that the one with the guy with beautiful eyes?
Cillian Murphy?
Yes, it is.
Different
No,
eyes.
the black guy, Jesse
Oh,
something.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
Yes, it is. And Chris Hemsworth.
And that's a comedy?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I really need to watch this.
Spoilers. Hey, so is Deer Hunter.
No. Stop.
Hilarious.
Stop trying to get us
I want to watch
Deer
it.
Hunter.
I want to watch it.
For me, I don't know if it ranks up there like with like my top 5, but I would say it's in my top 10. But I was also going to
please list your top 10 comedy horrors, because I just don't know enough.
I'm fine with the top 5.
I can give you a top 5. Cabin in the Woods is definitely my number 1. Number 2 would be Evil Dead 2. Number 3, I would probably go with probably Evil Dead 1 through 3. There's like, boom, there's 3 slots right there. And Army of Darkness. I know nobody wants to call it that, but
Army of Darkness is a comedy?
Yeah.
And then probably Tucker and Dale would probably be number 5.
You left out Shaun of the Dead. You left out This Is the End. You left out Happy Death Day. Ready or Not.
Is this the end good? Because I don't really like that one.
Yeah, those are really solid ones.
You don't like This Is the End, Emily?
I
wasn't the biggest fan of it to some of it.
To be fair, I haven't seen it since it came out, and I thought it was really stupid. Would you call What We Do in the Shadows horror comedy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then that one's probably one of my top ones ever.
I thought maybe
Freaky
was great. Yeah, that one was really good too.
Fun.
They've been getting better over the years, but that was one thing I did want to bring up is that this movie is really good at doing a horror comedy, which I think is one of the more difficult subgenres in the horror genre, is making something funny while also being scary at the same time.
Does Addams Family count? I don't actually know.
No.
Okay.
Well, I would say that there's no horror in this movie until maybe the last 10 minutes.
It's taking on like the slasher tropes and stuff like that, and it's meant to be like a horror comedy. But there are a lot of movies that try it and they just don't. It's either too funny or it's too gory and too scary. And by scary, I'm talking about too gory, too bloody, too this, that's what I mean by scary.
Ben, are you talking about horror and gore not being the same thing? So you're saying that this movie wasn't a horror, even though it had all of that very graphic death?
All I'm saying is that when Dylan's talking about the balance of having good horror and good comedy at the same time, I don't think that this movie approaches good horror enough to really qualify to meet what he's talking about.
Like, it's not as good of a balance?
At no point did they really attempt any like typical like jump scares. At no point did they attempt to do anything really atmospheric to make it feel like it's a horror movie. Like, it's all comedy, even the stuff that's like the flashback of the murders. Like, that even had like a comedy tinge to it. And everything is like covered by this veil of comedy that I wasn't able to engage with the horror within it.
Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
Because as you were describing it, I was thinking the same thing. That's why I like it.
I see what you're saying. I can go with that. Yeah.
You know, when Ben, you brought up the fact that you could have done just like a 45 to 50 minute sort of movie like this, it made me think immediately of Rubber, because it had like a similar sort of like really amazing story idea that is very silly, but went on too long. Although I really like Tucker and Dale a lot more than Rubber, with just like the length in general. I was very happy, but I can agree that it definitely had its moment of kind of dragging in the middle.
Let's get into the good, bad, and weird this movie and talk about who or what won this movie for you.
I loved the production design in this movie. I really did. Just like the props in the set and any place that they had the set, just. And I don't think I've actually seen Evil Dead, but I think I've seen pieces of it. And so maybe that's why I liked it so much, like the cabin itself and like how it was structured and the little nuances in it. I just loved it. It was probably one of my favorite parts.
Winner for me, which is the same as the first time when I saw it. So I was happy that kind of stood up. And well, it's Hug It, Chuck It football for sure. Tyler Labine, I think, is absolutely fantastic in this role. Those blue eyes as an evil person and just the innocent doe-eyed puppy look that he can do is incredible. And he outshines Alan Tudyk. It's just a great performance.
I think that's the point too, though, right?
Oh, definitely.
Like
Alan Tudyk plays a straight man. It wasn't like Alan Tudyk did bad at all. No, he played his role perfectly. It's just that Labine acted and was given just an incredible part.
His dead-eyed stare as the cars meet at the very beginning and then in the gas station. Oh my God, it's so funny.
And did you notice though, I didn't notice this until watching it this time, that you can actually see Tyler kind of looking a little bit further even after the car is just about to pass by him. Like he almost sticks his head out the window just to kind of look a little bit longer, which I thought was pretty funny.
My winner is the screenplay, because there are some really funny lines in this movie that are just throwaway lines for the most part too. So I don't know how much was in the script and how much was Alan and Tyler just being really good comedic actors, but like
quite a bit was Tyler improving. But yes, you're absolutely right. The screenplay was brilliant.
He's heavy for half a guy. When they're worried that all the kids are going to come into the cabin and try to kill themselves, he's like, we have to hide all the sharp objects.
Yes. I wish that went somewhere too. I was really hoping that it did go somewhere, but I fucking love that line. But you're right. The Tucker and Dale dialogue was so funny.
For me, I'm actually going to go with Alan Tudyk as my winner, just because I think he also, on top of being the straight man, he also had to do a lot of the physical comedy.
Oh, yeah.
In the movie, like if anybody's doing all the hillbilly murdering as it's supposed to look, it's Alan Tudyk. You know, he's the one with the chainsaw and working the wood chipper. And, well, hell, he's the one who bought the damn cabin in the first place. So, you know, but I think some of his, one scene that always sticks out for me is the scene with he and Tyler talking with the sheriff.
Yes.
And Tyler's giving all the wrong answers, and just how Alan's just like Tucker's trying to like grabbing at his shoulder. And you could just see the anger seething out of him because he's like, you're saying the absolute wrong thing right now. And then just giving that big white wide smile as they're trying to explain themselves. That was pretty funny.
I'm glad you brought up the physical comedy, because that was pretty tied to one of my top things. I loved all the physical comedy in this movie. It was so fucking great. And I know that you wanted a little bit more horror elements, Ben, but I thought that every time a kid died was just the funniest fucking thing ever. You know. And then when Allison gets knocked out again, just super funny moment. Every single death was surprising and funny. When Tucker was getting attacked by the bees and he's running around with a chainsaw, Tucker hanging from the tree and just like talking to the kids and be like, what is wrong with you stupid kids? When the guts of the half kid gets dragged over Dale's face, you know, just all these little funny things I absolutely loved.
Them rolling on the floor while the bullets are coming into the house and rolling over each other. Love that part.
Doesn't Dale kind of knee him in the testicles too?
Yep.
Oh my God. One of my favorite deaths was actually the sheriff's death, because Tucker's like, oh, it looks like he's walking it off, and he's got like nails through his face. You know?
He's fine. He's just walking it off.
Also, I want to clarify, I didn't need more horror from this movie. I was just saying, coming at Dylan's saying this had a good balance and saying the balance was off for me.
Okay, I understand. I also appreciate a lot of the makeup and prosthetics worked. Mm-hmm. I thought that it was really professionally done. And even at the end where Chad, the evil kid with the popped collars, with his face slightly burned off and bloody, like I really liked that for sure. But there were other moments, just like the torso with the guts coming out of it and the fingers that were chopped off. I really liked a lot of those things, and I weirdly find them super fun to see in horror now. So fuck you, Dylan.
What? What did I do? What the fuck?
You're getting me into horror because you're showing me
telling
how
me to go fuck myself.
Stuff.
So, you know, fuck you, Dylan.
She said fuck you. She didn't say go fuck yourself. There's a huge difference.
Yeah. There is a huge difference. It was like an affectionate.
How about a thank you?
No, I will never thank Dylan.
Wow. Make me feel warm and fuzzy.
Maybe this is a good time because I need it. What the hell was the twist? So the Chad ended up being the son of the killer?
The guy that Chad thought was his dad was not his dad, and his mom was actually raped by a hillbilly, and that was
him.
Do we want to get into the bad? Because that is my bad.
That's perfect transition.
Perfect, because they essentially made rape kind of a punchline in a sense. And I know that like they were trying to tie things together in kind of a revealing way. But the whole thing that Chad is the product of being like a half murderous hillbilly of you guys are hillbillies and I'm a half hillbilly is like trying to tie them together. It was really uncomfortable and kind of lazy writing to just be like, okay, we're going to take this story and we're going to find out that you are actually the product of rape. And I just think it would have been more interesting if they would have showed that bad people can come from anywhere rather than just like this hillbilly was passing his evil genes through rape. And I know that like I get what they were trying to do, but it was still just kind of lazy to me and really, really in bad taste.
Well, and the whole movie spends its time bucking stereotypes and being like, this is what you expect and this is actually what it is. And then it goes back to the stereotype of hillbillies behave like this for the ending to justify itself. And that just tonally was very off for me in the movie.
We know that people with popped collars are just assholes and therefore they're the ones that are murdering everyone. Like, come on, let's go with that stereotype.
The guy's name was literally Chad. I'm not saying he was the first one, but nowadays, here in the land of 2022, Chads are associated with exactly that kind of person. He is a Chad.
For me, I really didn't get the whole message of the punchline of rape. I didn't get that. I kind of went with the idea. In my head, I always go with the Chris Rock routine that he did years ago, where he said anything that you hate, that you're prejudiced against, will end up being in your family. You don't like this, it's good. You know, you don't like Latinos, your daughter or whatever is going to be dating a Latino man. If you don't like gay people, you're going to have a gay son. This guy didn't like hillbillies, hated hillbillies. What does he turn out to be? A hillbilly.
So Chris Rock deserves a writing credit on this movie.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it might.
God.
That's just my brain.
My bad for this movie was the shitty ADR.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Oh, you mean Katrina Bowden's part?
Well, for the most part, yeah. For being such a low budget movie, I understand only being able to get 1 or 2 shots, but then they maybe didn't capture the audio as well as they do. So ADR is them going back in after the shot's done and trying to speak the line clearly while matching it up with people's mouths, or if their back is turned, playing the line then.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
There was a lot of ADR in this movie and it wasn't very well done.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice, but maybe it's because I've only seen this once.
I pointed it out last night. Katrina Bowden, like half of her lines are delivered facing away from the camera.
Yep.
Now, whether that's to highlight her backside or not, who knows? But I would guess that it's more about the fact that she didn't record well.
Or they wanted to add dialogue to her part after the fact.
Okay.
Like if you're still writing while editing, you sometimes bring people back in and be like, this needs to be said here to provide clarity to what's happening.
Yeah, like maybe Tucker and Dale were evil when they recorded Katrina Bowden's part. What a twist.
These kids are just killing themselves.
Other bad?
I got a new one here. Chamomile tea is actually, it provides asthma relief.
Oh, you looked
Really?
it up.
They
Yeah.
did not consult with a medical expert making this movie.
Or Google.
Or a tea expert.
Yeah, it's pretty, that was pretty easy
Talk
to
to
find.
an English person. This solved itself.
Yeah, they're not doing anything.
Canadians don't know a lot about tea. I think that's the thing we can learn from this. Any weird?
The ending was just a little strange to me. But
I would say that would be my bad, was the ending.
Don't really know how to describe it being weird. It just felt weird. So can someone else speak to it?
Well, the hillbilly attempting to kidnap a woman as they're like, well, we're just going to ignore this and kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean,
that's pretty self-explanatory why that's bad and weird.
I don't remember that happening. Oh my God. Are you serious?
especially since it's so out of character for Dale to do that, because he's been all about helping people this entire movie.
Yeah, the last 2 minutes of the movie shouldn't have existed. There was no reason
get
for
rid
it
of
to
it.
be there.
I kind of wonder if the beginning 2 minutes were supposed to be the last 2 minutes, but through conversation with the director or something like with the production company or something, they may have said, this might play a lot better at the beginning, so you might want to do a new ending. And it felt very like, we got to come up with a new ending. So what should we do here? And they just came up with whatever they could come up with at the last minute. That it felt really tacked on, but
I don't think they needed.
Oh, it didn't need to be there. It didn't need to be there at all. They could have just done a scene of a quick thing of like Dale coming out of the hospital and there's Katrina Bowden sitting in his truck and they, leave off together. That could done.
Oh my gosh. I have a real weird. I forgot. So last night while we were watching this movie, this is so stupid. You ready? As Tucker is getting chased by bees, my mind was 100% Will Arnett, Arrested Development. Bees?
Bees?
So it took me out of the movie for a second, but I was having a great time.
Well, let's put a cork in this thing and give our final thoughts on Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And we're going to start with Wesley today.
It's a good alternate to horror movies that keeps it light with comedy and subverts expectations of what you might have seen in the past. And it's really funny, and it's got some pretty blue eyes.
Dylan.
Solid movie. I think it would be a great double feature with some of the movies we've referenced here, like Cabin in the
John
Woods.
Tucker Must Die.
No.
Tuck Everlasting.
Pretty much any of the horror movies made by Sam Raimi, I think, and this would work well, and also Cabin in the Woods. And early Peter Jackson, because Peter Jackson, before he became, Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson made a lot of funny, odd horror films in New Zealand.
Emily.
I had a great time. This is a movie that I know my two sisters and I will probably watch together repeatedly just for fun. And yeah, that's all I got to say about it. It was a good time.
I agree. It was a very enjoyable movie. I do wish that, again, it had either been an additional plot line would have been added in to kind of flesh out the 90 minutes, or it had been cut down to a shorter runtime. I would have enjoyed the movie more, because it does drag in parts. That also could have been that I was just really fucking high and time was moving weird. So take my review with a grain of salt.
What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative.
How do you get the idea?
I just tried to think creatively.
Are we ready for some Twits Light?
Yes.
No. Okay, yes.
Good. All right, number 1. You 3 are at a cabin, of course.
Perfect. Yep.
What is the inciting incident that makes the college kids think you are all murderers?
Dylan's beard.
It will be when they try to peep through the windows, and what they see is us finishing up our Mexican meal, and it's churro time, baby.
Oh no.
And I'm sitting there as an innocent bystander, but it looked kind of creepy because I'm enjoying it. While Ben and Dylan both take one end of the churro each and try to meet in the middle. But they keep gagging because of all the cinnamon and sugar. And then they try to inhale. And then when they laugh, they breathe hot air onto each other's mouths. And then the kids outside think we're psychopaths. Kind of justified, though.
What the fuck?
I think it's them peeping through the window, and we're all staring at the TV just shouting obscenities because we're playing Fall Guys. So they think we're just rage filled, because that's how that game makes us feel.
I'm gonna remove myself from that one. I don't yell at the TV.
I would say they see us coming out of the cellar, out of like a fruit cellar, and we've got aprons on that are covered in blood and viscera because we were down there cleaning out a deer. But they don't think that
in a fruit cellar.
Not a fruit.
No deer in the fruit cellar.
A cellar.
Strawberries. We were.
Yeah, I thought that's where that was going, because I know the three of you probably don't hunt.
Actually, that would work out a lot better. Yeah, we were busy making jams and jellies, and we come out.
See, that
covered
makes it so more believable to me.
Okay, we come out covered in red
men.
from the raspberries and blueberry from the raspberries and strawberries.
We're jam and jelly men. That is amazing. I love it. Can we get t-shirts for you 3?
We're just jamming and jellying.
Do you know what the difference between jelly and jam is?
I was thinking the same joke.
What?
I can't jelly my dick in your ass.
You know, honestly, the inciting incident is hearing you guys giggling like that after some really obscene jokes like that, and the kids are gonna fucking freak out.
Yeah, probably.
Number 2. Tucker lost both his bowling fingers from those crazy kids. What do you lose?
You done wrecked my dick hand. Wait, so what would I lose, as in like what would impact my daily life or my house?
Just what would you lose? You can interpret it how you want.
Hair. Did I win?
My faith in the next generation.
That's a Star Trek reference, right?
Yes.
Your beard, Dylan?
Probably cutting some of my luscious lower.
I don't understand this question. Is it
Why
what
would you
do we
ask?
That's
what do
fine.
we want to have cut off? What is somebody choosing to cut off?
That is your choice of interpretation.
Our collection of jams and jellies.
Number 3. So now you 3 are the stupid college kids. You ready? How do you accidentally die in the movie, you stupid college kid? We need more deaths in the movie. How you dying?
Well, I'm gonna say that being a photographer, I decided to try to document it and prove it. And in doing so, because it was in the woods and in the dark, I tried to set up some lighting, but I had to kind of throw it together all willy-nilly. So when I go to take a picture, the bulb itself actually explodes because I had it turned up way too high, and it explodes in my eye
So you're blinded.
by the light.
And then
Wrapped up like a deuce.
I think
middle of
I
the night.
see Dale staring at me, so I decide to stare back and do something crazy to intimidate him. So I chew on a cigarette butt
This
and
is
choke
Ben.
to death on it.
and poor Dale does not know how to
Nope.
do the Heimlich maneuver.
I think it'd be better if you eat the cigarette butt and die from cancer in 34 years.
Playing the long game.
Yeah, somehow you just you kind of just get forgotten in the story, and then you are the final button on the end of the movie where it's just, it says 34 years later.
For me, I would try to escape them by climbing a tree, and then probably
That doesn't
slip
sound
and
smart.
fall and hit every single branch on the way down. But
Don't forget to
I
avoid the
wouldn't hit
ugly
my
stick.
head though. I would just break every other bone in my body as I'm lying there as just this disgusting thing of broken bones and everything, and I'm
Yeah, but what did falling out of the tree do?
broke every bone in my body, asshole.
Do you have the impulse to climb a lot of trees, Dylan?
Yeah, these aren't bears, which is also not the way to deal with bears.
People hid in tree. I've seen horror movies where people hide in trees.
Yeah, but why would you think you should hide in a tree?
Yeah,
It's because
you a
of his
good tree
glorious
climber?
beard. He's turning into a bear.
Now let's all agree to never be creative again.
I've got a little game before we go. This week's game is called Misunderstood Movies. So I'm going to give you a poorly described plot to a movie, and you
Oh,
need
I
to
love
guess what
this.
movie I'm explaining.
Yes.
The category is double billing, so all of the movies will have at least 2 names or pronouns in the title.
Okay.
So we've even narrowed it down further to make it easier. Number 1, an escaped prisoner attempts to live with a little girl with the help of Elvis. Obama means family.
Lilo and Stitch.
That's correct. A man mourning the loss of his wife befriends a plant person to battle against vigilantes.
The only plant person I can think of is Groot.
I was thinking Poison Ivy, but that's not.
Guardians.
Oh
of the
my!
Galaxy
Oh my
Volume
God! It's
2?
Batman and Robin.
It is Batman and Robin.
Oh my god!
Oh my God! Because it's Mr. Freeze.
Yep.
Poison Ivy.
Oh.
God damn it!
Okay, number 3, a man annoys and mansplains to a woman he meets over many years until she agrees to sleep with him.
When Harry Met Sally.
That is When Harry Met Sally. A veteran cop and his new partner try to live together, but one keeps shitting on the floor.
Turner and Hooch.
That's right.
God damn it.
Why am I doing well at this game?
Twin siblings attempt to make it through the holiday season without killing each other until they find a common interest, Al Pacino.
Jack and Jill.
It is Jack and Jill. the hilarious Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, that's why I wouldn't know that.
A fancy British guy travels through time to bang someone from the present day.
Time Traveler's Wife?
No.
Oh, shit. Kate and Leopold.
It is Kate and Leopold.
Oh.
Well done, Emily. Last one. A lost family who loves soda is saved by a handicapped boy who guides them towards U.S. citizenship.
Mac and Me?
That is Mac and Me.
Wow. I cannot believe I did well at that game. And Wesley.
You got 4.
I
Wesley,
can't
what
believe
happened?
how badly. I don't know. I'm really sad. I got really excited for that game.
Well, before we go, we got one last bit of news. They just announced that Community, a show that we all love here, will be getting a new movie. Give me a 30-second to 1-minute pitch of how they should do the Community movie.
It's just the trampoline episode, but for 90 minutes.
I was going to say, do the paintball.
They'll have paintball, though.
Do another paintball.
You think they'll have paintball?
I think they'll have paintball. At least referenced.
Can they get Ken Burns to direct it?
I know I don't want them to do like a what if scenario if they didn't get together.
Completely agree with that.
Is Chevy coming back?
God, I hope not.
Chevy's dead.
Yeah.
In the show.
Oh, they did. Oh, okay. I didn't.
They killed him off.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they all go to try to get their master's degrees.
In an hour-and-a-half movie?
Yeah, have you ever been in a master's program?
I suppose.
It's pretty easy.
I'd like to see some sort of Knives Out type scenario where it's like a murder mystery.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
And
I love that.
the dean is the detective.
I was going to say the dean is who was murdered, and that's why they all come back.
No, I thought the same thing. That was my initial thought, but I want the dean.
Yeah.
I want Jim Rash. Give me more Jim Rash. Shut up and just give me Jim Rash. You know what? Kill the dean and bring in Jim Rash.
Rash as the detective.
Bring in Jim Rash as the detective from Sky High.
Oh.
Oh, God.
I haven't seen that, but whatever that is sounds amazing.
You bring in the dean's brother, who is just Jim Rash.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
As the dean. And then the twist is that it's actually the brother that died, and it was the dean investigating the entire time.
I saw that coming a mile away. Way ahead.
Absolutely.
And it's Winger that kills him. Because his brother is even more aggressive with the flirtation and tries to kiss Winger.
Well, no, it's got to be Ass Crack Bandit related, right? Like the movie, because that's one of the few plot threads that never was wrapped up.
I was just going to say, didn't they?
I mean, there's still speculation on who it is.
It was Alex.
They kind of teased who it might be. Who's Alex?
Starburns.
That's exactly the joke.
Guys, I kind of have to poop. Can we wrap it up?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, it is me. Okay, everyone. Wait, did I need to try to get people to watch our show or listen to our show?
That'd be nice.
No,
it doesn't
don't
say
do
to do that, okay?
Whatever you do, don't do that.
You know what? Don't listen.
Great, guys. I'm glad that we had a fun time. Next week, we are watching Valhalla Rising with Ryan from One Track Mind. I'm super enthusiastic right now because I really have to poop. But we're really glad that you all are still listening to our show. We really appreciate the support. I don't know. Guys, I'm struggling.
She's got
Okay, bye.
Just pop it to Wesley.
Yeah,
Okay, you told me to plug the show.
The perfect plug for our show is you saying, should I plug our show? I'm leaving that whole part in.
Oh my God. I have to poop. Bye.
And
okay,
there
Wesley,
she goes.
Before we go, in your best hillbilly impression, end the episode by saying, Emily, don't poop on camera. Emily, put your clothes back on.
You could hear the belt drop.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I drank your podcast.